Okay, this video is going to show how to make a deck truss with vertical support. So again, a deck truss is what goes below the road. So this top beam would be the road deck, and then we'll have vertical supports on this one. Our other deck truss video is just for diagonals. So we have vertical supports. Okay. First thing you need to have is our printout from the computer. You'll have a yellow design sheet. Mine is white so that my markings show up better on video, but yours will be yellow. You need a ruler and a pencil, not a pen, but a pencil. First thing we need to do is put our name and class period on this. So on our yellow sheets here on the side, you'll turn, and there's two boxes. It says designed by and class. In designed by, please write your first and last name. Mine happens to be Mr. Rademski. You're going to write your first and last name. Please do not write Mr. Rademski. For class, you'll write P and then whatever number you have, 1, 2, or 3. Okay? Once you have that, we're ready to start thinking through our design. So with deck trusses, okay, on our paper, the road deck, so the top part of our design, again, so this top beam, the road deck is right here on your design paper. Now, I have highlighted mine yellow so it's more visible. Yours will not be highlighted. You'll just have the box. Okay, as you notice, the box is 1 box tall on our paper. That is because the wood we're going to be using is 1/8 of an inch tall, which is what these boxes are. So we have our road deck here. It will sit on top of our testing blocks. In real life, we're pretending they're land here. And one other thing to note, center of beam, we have our midpoint. Okay. First thing we have to do is determine how tall you would like your bridge to be. Okay. Our bridge can only go down so far, and there is a minimum set that we have to have. So our minimum is 5 boxes. So I want you to mark that here off to the side. So what we're going to do is start right here over by the side, and we're going to start counting below the road deck. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. On the bottom edge of that 5th box, I want you to make a little line across. So at the bottom edge of the 5th box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that bottom line, draw a line across. Over here on the side, in the land area, you're going to write min 5. Yeah, I'll hold that up. Min 5. So you go down 5 boxes. On the bottom of that 5th box, draw a line over and write min 5. That means a minimum 5 boxes. So this distance from the road deck to here is the absolute smallest you can make your deck truss. The reason we don't want you going any smaller than that is because then it becomes too difficult to cut any pieces that fit in here. It's nearly impossible to cut pieces and glue them in without destroying it because your fingers are going to be damaging it. So minimum 5. The maximum size you can make your bridge is 1 box up from the bottom. So here's the bottom, our land. Here you can go up 1 box. So we're going to draw across and write max for maximum right there. So your bridge, if you were to do a deck truss, has to be from the road deck at least to the 5 and no more than the line down here. It cannot be any deeper than that, otherwise it'll go below the surface of our testing table and that won't work. Okay, it needs to be above the surface of the testing table. So it has to be at least 5 and you can max out down here. So what you're going to do next is you and your partner are going to take a moment and figure out how tall or how far down your deck truss is going to go. Take a moment and do that now. Welcome back. So let's say you and your partner decided to go 12 boxes down. Okay. So what that would mean, we know we have a 5 right here. So we're just going to continue on from that. So that's 5. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 boxes down. So what we're going to do on that 12th box is we are going to trace the top, the bottom, and the left edge. The top, the bottom, and the left edge of that 12th box down. Okay, so this is 12. Kind of hard to see on the side on that one, but you can see 12 boxes. So we trace the top, the left, and the bottom. The reason for that is, again, just like our road deck beam, okay, we're going to have a beam going across here. Now, it's not going to be all the way out to here, but we wanted to mark it off to the side so it's out of the way when we actually start making our measurements. So we have the top of our beam and the bottom of our beam. What we're going to do is take our ruler, and we are going to line our ruler up with the top and bottom of that and line it up along the grid lines. And we are going to very lightly trace across the page to the other side. Now, some of this will be erased, some of it will be staying, some of it will be making darker later on. But we want to trace this across just so that we can see it. So you can see here pretty clearly I have my road deck, which is printed on the paper, and my bottom beam here. Again, some of this will be erased, some of it will be staying. That is our top beam and our bottom beam, our main beams. Okay? When you have that, now we need to start looking at where our connections are going to be. Now, if we look at our design again, we have 6 connections across the top of our bridge. We've got one on the end, one here, one right in the middle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We actually have 7 connections if you count the very end here. Okay, so we have 7 across the top, 6 sections. So we've got one section here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to find our connections here. Now, I would love to be able to, just like in the software, and just start from here. But if you look on our papers, because of where the road deck has to set on our testing blocks, right here, we cannot connect to the end. It won't physically fit. It'll be sitting on your end supports and it won't work. So we have to come in a few, okay? So the minimum what we have to have, you have to go in, draw a little arrow, you have to go over 7 boxes. You have to go over 7 boxes. So counting the end, we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to shade in that 7th box. Make sure you color inside the lines. Okay, so I went in 7 boxes and I shaded that in. That spot right there is where we are going to make this connection on our bridge paper. So our very end connection is going to happen 7 boxes in. We're going to go to the other end and do the same thing. We're going to go in 7. Okay, so count the end again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shade in the 7th box. The reason we go in 7 again is so we have enough room to fit between the testing blocks on the testing rig. I don't want you to crush the end pieces of your bridge when you don't have to. Now that we have this, we then have to figure out our spacing. So we have 3 sections on each side of the middle. We have 6 total. The middle goes right down the middle. Okay, so that center connection straight down. On our bridge paper, we have our line at our midpoint. Okay, so what we have to do is figure out how many boxes to go from the midpoint to this end connection. So what you're going to do is count how many boxes we have from the line over to this box. Count that box. So count over there. Count. I'll see you in a second. So if you counted properly from the midline to this box, you should have 30 boxes. 30 boxes, okay? What we need to do is figure out our spacing. So we have 30 boxes for half of the bridge. We need to figure out our spacing of our 3 sections. So to do that, we take 30 and divide it by 3. Pretty simple math. That gives us 10. So 10 boxes is our spacing. Okay. So we're going to start on our end filled in box here. And what we're going to do is count over 10, not counting this. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On that 10th box, we're going to shade it in again. All these shaded boxes we're making are where we're going to make connections. So you see we had here, we went over 10 boxes and drew it in. We're going to do the same thing, go over 10 boxes and fill it in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, 10th box. Fill that in. So I should have 3 connections drawn on the left half, all 10 boxes apart. We're going to skip the middle for right now. We're going to come back to that. We're going to go down to this end. Again, start here, count over 10 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fill in the 10th box. Go over another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now for the middle, right, you see we've got our even spacing across. We do have a connection in the middle. But to do this cleanly, it's going to have to actually split the center line because our middle is a line. So what we're going to do is draw down the middle of the box on either side of the center point, which you can see we've done here. So we drew halfway down this box, halfway down this box, and then kind of made a little box around there. I'm going to leave that open for now just so I can see it. So I have my 7 connections across my road deck beam. Okay. Now the nice thing, this is a vertical support bridge. That makes it really easy to locate our bottom supports because guess what? They are straight down below all my top connectors. Really, really easy. So now that we have our top connections all drawn, our top connections are drawn, we have to put our bottom connections in. So if you look at our design again, this is our end connection, which on our paper was right here. Okay? We don't have anything below that. Our second connection in is where we're going to have all of our details. So as you can see, we have our end. This is our second connection up top, and we go straight down below it. Everything's in, and again on the other side, into the second connection and straight down. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. Finding the intersection, going straight down, and marking on the bottom. So we cannot do the end. We have to come in one to the second connection on our beam, come straight down to the bottom where we drew our road deck or bottom beam before. So again, we have our bottom beam drawn. I went into my second connector, down, filled it in. I'm going to do that same thing on all of these connections. The second one in, next. Okay, so go ahead and do that now. Again, find your top connection, go straight down that column to the bottom beam, fill it in. For the middle, you're going to have to split that again. So you split the box and split it around the center. So again, you can see I have split that around the line. It's in the middle. The rest of them again are going to be in a box. So I find the top box, straight down the column, fill it in. Last one here, find the box, straight down the column, fill it in. Now I have a little bit extra lines to the right of that last one and to the left. So I'm just going to lightly erase those, just so they're out of the way. They'll be slightly more visible on your yellow paper for those lines that are done lightly. Careful erasing so you don't erase your markings there. Then now we have that erased, we're just going to go over these lines on the bottom beam one more time to make them nice and solid so that we can see them very clearly now. So I line up my ruler, put some pressure, and then straight across. Okay, so now we have very clearly drawn bottom beam and our road deck beam with all of our connections. So to start, we are going to make our vertical connections first. The vertical connections are going to be our primary beams. Our primary beams connect top to bottom. So primary beams connect top to bottom. So that is all of our vertical beams. We have secondary beams. Secondary beams connect our primary beams. So they don't actually touch the top and bottom. They connect between primary beams. So our primary beam is the vertical beams. The secondary is going to connect to the bottom to the top from the inside edges of our primaries. And we'll show you that here in a second. So first we're going to draw our verticals. So we're just going to come here straight away, just line up our corners or our rulers and our pencils and connect the lines. Make sure you're stopping though at the edges. We are only drawing these between the bottom edge of our top beam and the top edge of our bottom beam. So it's only in the space between. We aren't going through these beams at all. These beams are solid wood. We cannot make wood go through solid wood. So we're just going in between here. It's a surface glue in between. So we're going to go next and do all of our beams, our vertical beams. Connecting this one. Again, in the middle, be careful. Make sure you drew your boxes the right size. Again, it is splitting the line. I'm going to come over to this one. And last vertical beam. Okay, so our primary vertical beams are done. The next step that we're going to do are the secondary beams, the inside secondary beams. We're leaving our ends to last. We're going to do these two and then these two. Same process for all of them, just reverse angle. So when we do our inside secondary beams, okay, we cannot actually have them touching top and bottom. It doesn't work as well. So what we're going to do, our top corner right here, our top inside corner is going to connect to one line up on this inside edge of this beam. So one line, so where the one line up and that corner and that edge meet in that corner, that edge of the beam is going to go from here to the very top corner. We're going to, for the bottom corner, it's going to line up with one line down on this side. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So again, our top corner here goes one line up on this edge. So we draw those up. Then we go one line down to the bottom corner. If you look, our part is still basically one box wide. Okay, it's one box wide, 1/8 of an inch wide. It's just at an angle. Very clearly you can see that it connects to the vertical edge, not the bottom. And up here it connects to this vertical edge. So it wedges in between the primaries, which are the verticals. This next one here is going to be exactly the same from bottom corner to top right. So again, my top corner lines up to one line up from the bottom of our vertical here. So again, top corner to one line up. My bottom corner is going to go to one line down. And I just had my ruler slide, so it did not look very good. So we're going to try that again. Hold your ruler still. Make sure your pencil is sharp. There we go. Now we have that fixed. That looks a lot better. The other side is just going to go this way. If you look at our design, These angles go the opposite direction to help disperse weight that way. Same process. Top corner goes to one line up here. And the bottom corner to one line down on this side. So again, as you see, they kind of meet a triangle in the middle. Same process over here. So one line up from the bottom goes to the very top corner, and the bottom corner goes to one line down from the top. Now we have all of our center secondary beams. The last thing we're going to do is our end beams. Now this one's a little trickier. We are still going to go bottom left corner. So we're going to go bottom left corner of this connector and bottom right corner. Where they're going to connect is to the outside top and bottom corner here. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit wider of an angle cut. So we're going to first connect bottom left corner of this to the bottom left corner of the bottom beam. So bottom corner of the beam to the bottom corner of our connection box. So again, bottom left corner to bottom left corner. Now we're going to go the right corner to the top corner here. So that when you see that, we've got bottom right corner of that connector down to the top corner of the bottom. So it goes on the end of the beam, as you see there. So it connects to the end of the beam. Okay. Same process over here. Bottom corner, bottom right corner to bottom right corner. Bottom left corner to the top of that beam there. Same exact process, just reversed. Again, bottom right to bottom right, bottom left to the top of that beam, and there we have it. That is our finished deck truss with vertical primary support beams. There you go. Good luck building.